Hello everyone, I think we are live. Why is that image not working? Oh, wrong mouse, that's gonna screw me up. You go over there, you go over here. Two mouses next to each other, two mice, two mouses. If it's a computer one, is it a mice or a mouses? Mices, mouses, whatever. We are going to be drawing a lion tonight in charcoal. And this is great because even if you don't, like charcoal's not your thing, what we're gonna be talking about is how to create realistic fur. And a mistake that we commonly see when people draw lions or other animals with long hair. So we are going to be talking about how to not have that happen and how to make things look realistic. And especially in a case like this, this is only, oh, hold on, that camera's not on. Which camera is that? Easel. Edit, deactivate, activate. There we go. My hand is there. Okay, so now you can see, this is only a 5x7, so it's not like we've got a ton of room for a lot of teeny tiny detail. What we're gonna be talking about is how to get that detail, how to have it look realistic without depending on all the little teeny itsy bitsy bits of detail. My stool is loose, there we go. So that is the focus tonight. I am working on Inktense and Metense, and I have this drawn out, it's on the smooth side. I used a piece of tracing paper and transfer paper that didn't show up very well to draw everything out. Now this is a 5x7. If you are within the US, you can bid on this. Starting bid is $70 for the original, and it will fit in a black mat just like that. So that's why you can see from where this outline is, this is all going to be cut off by the mat. I will fill it in with the charcoal though. That way if I'm adjusting the mat a little bit and I go a little, decide I like it a little bit farther to the side here, that's not gonna just be open. So I always make my mat a little bit larger than what I want the actual artwork, a little bit larger than what I want the end result to be, so that I've got a little bit more wiggle room when it comes to the mat. And this does come, for whoever wins the bid, it does come matted. Okay, as usual, we've got the boys back behind me waiting for any possible, I can't say the word, super chats. That is what they're waiting for. Oh, and the back of an orchid apparently on camera. My orchids, so many of my orchids are in bloom. Like one of them is in crazy bloom over there. It threw a lot of flowers this year. Anyway, let's see. I've got my green tea today again. And I think that's it. Can we get started? Oh, put too much honey. That was a little bit more sweet than I was expecting. Okay. So the pencils that I'm going to be using, oh, also, while I am working, if you want to be leaving me comments, what mediums you would like to see, or not just mediums so much, but what subjects you want to see. Well, I guess mediums too, for Patreon, if you're a Patreon member. I need to do something in colored pencil soon. I want to do, that may be what I start this week. I may start a charcoal this week just to have something that doesn't take, I had two back-to-back really long projects, the horse and, which I don't know if you can see it behind me over there. I'll bring it up later and show you guys up close. He's finally done that lesson. The oil painting portion of that lesson is available for you over on Patreon. But I want to do something, probably charcoal, to do, like, give myself a little bit of a break, and I'm going to be putting mulch out today, or this weekend, like 25 bags, so I'm going to be sore. I'm not going to want to spend a lot of time with the easel. So then next week I'm doing a colored pencil lesson, but I want to hear from you guys what it is you are looking for. I think, didn't Lily want something more detailed with marine life too? So maybe something along those lines. We haven't had a good sea turtle one, so I don't know. Let me know. I'll make a list. I even have my notepad or tablet here ready. Like, it is ready to go with for notes. Why am I getting a weather warning? What is this weather warning? Hold on. Is there something? Oh, fire warning. Well, I'm not starting fires, so I should be good. Okay. So let's get started. I am using General's charcoal pencils, and I've got lots of them, lots of white and black. And with the black, I will be using a combination of hard, medium, and soft. The difference between these is the hard pencil is going to be better for getting finer detail. It holds its point better, easier to sharpen. It's a harder, hence the name hard. It is a harder, like lead. Graphite, charcoal, whatever. The medium, obviously medium, soft is going to be darker. It's easier to blend, but it does not hold a point well because it's so soft, extra soft, even more so. So those are the pencils that I have. If you ever feel like, I don't know which one to choose, go with medium or soft, you're safe. Either of those, you're probably going to be pretty happy with your results. The softer it is, the easier it is to blend. It's like more smudgy. Okay, let's start with this background. My glasses are really dirty. Whoa. I don't know what happened there. Oh, that is not, I don't actually have the reference photo pulled up. Hold on, I had the email for the reference photo pulled up. I was kind of close. Sea turtle with coral is what Lily says. I'll see what photos I can find. I'm in a whole summer's coming mood, so I'd kind of like that myself. Well, that photo downloads or comes up. Do I have anything to clean my glasses with over here? I don't think I do. I may just have to live with it. Oh my gosh, no, I'm not trying to open you with Photoshop. Why? I don't know why it occasionally stops. Stop. I'm not opening with Photoshop. Open with photos. That's all I need. Every once in a while, it will, I don't know why it does that. Like this laptop that I use for my reference photo will default and try to force everything to open with Photoshop, but I'm not signed in with Photoshop on that computer, so it doesn't want to work. Another vote for a turtle. Deborah wants an octopus. I'm an octopus, maybe a bit. Octopuses, so they are a lot more work than you would think. They are one of those, I have to be in the mood for a whole lot of detail. Like there's so much texture in them. I love, love, love them. But oh my God, are they a lot of work. So I've got a soft. It's also a soft. Apparently I got a lot of soft. Soft. Okay, I need a hard and a medium. Or really, I should probably do this both with soft and hard. We'll just do that. Oh, did I already have some pulled out? Nope, I only had soft pulled out. And I need something to blend with. You look like you will work. Don't I have a little one in here somewhere? I don't know. And here we go. But, Joseph said you have the default set to Photoshop. Yeah, I know apparently now, except I don't. Like I didn't. And I've not used Photoshop on this computer in, let's see, I probably last used Photoshop on this computer maybe 6, 9 months, 12 months ago. Like it's been a really long time since I used Photoshop on this specific computer. And I've been opening photos by default by the way I want for all this time. Like all these live streams are done normally. This is the first time it tried to pop that up in a while. But yeah, I have not opened Photoshop at all. So yeah, I understand on this case the default. Joseph's the tech guy that I go to when I screw things up. But this time it's not that. I don't know why it just will randomly default itself, I guess. Let's see. So let's go ahead and get started. And oh, I don't need that just yet. So I'm going to start with the, I guess I'll just start with the eye and move my way out. So I do need my glassine. So let me grab that so I can rest my hand without getting any oils because I just put hand lotion on or smudges on there. I'm going to wipe that down first though. I've got a board, just a piece of cardboard, I think it's an old Amazon box with glassine wrapped on it. So I can just set this right on my easel and slide it back and forth as I need to. I'm just wiping it off in case I have any pan pastel color on it. So, oh, there's my glasses cleaner. Hold on, I can make myself able to see. Give me just a second. Do some rearranging over here. Where do I want my phone? You can go over there for now. Hold on, I have, yeah, there we go. We will just clean these up. This glasses cleaner, how cute is this? It's an art palette. I got it from, what is it? Jinkies, Jinkies. They have the cutest cleaners for your everything. I mean, you use it for your tablet, your glasses, whatever. I love them. And they're fairly inexpensive, like if you get a bundle of a bunch of different ones, but super cute. Anyway, let's go ahead and start with the eye. And I've got the soft pencil, so this is not going to give me the finest detail, but it is going to be a bit on the darker side. Let's zoom this in a bit. That's probably a bit better. Now, I'm not having to push very hard to get that to be super dark. There's going to be a highlight. Let's throw that in there now so I can kind of blend around it. And I am just barely going to put a little bit where I want it to blend. I do need a smaller blending tool. Okay, where's one of my little ones? Of course, one of the very few times I want a tiny blending tool is when I don't have one in my set. That's kind of funny because I don't use them that often. Okay, I've got a whole bunch of brand new ones in here, and they are all bigger. Here's one. I apologize for the crinkly paper. If you are like me, you hate that sound. Like when it's on videos, when somebody's got to do like a unboxing and they've got the volume all the way up on the crinkled paper as they undo it. Oh, right, like heebie-jeebies. Turn that crap off. Please normalize the audio. We don't want to hear that. Actually, I guess some people do, the AMSR weirdos. Yes, I said it. You're a weirdo. Okay. I want it a little bit lighter on the bottom of the eye. So I'm going to put some white and smudge that a bit. Now this is what's important here. Let me see if, I don't think I have it on this one. I may have to zoom, let me zoom this in even more. There we go. So look at the eye right here, how it's really light and it fades to darker up here and towards the upper section. That's what we want to capture there. That's what's going to make it look more three-dimensional and realistic. Got the hard lead, and I don't know if you can really see on the camera, but it's not super, oh, and my camera just is not working again. Hold on. Deactivate. Activate. This is going to be one of those nights I see. I'm going to switch over to the soft lead. Fill that in a bit more. See how much darker that is? But it's also not as precise because it's such a soft, smudgy lead. I'm going to switch back to the hard lead. I could go to a medium for somewhere in between, but I didn't even pull one of those out. And we're just going to push up, let the gray of the paper show for some of those hairs. Dart frogs are talking tonight. And I'm going to darken right above that shine too. Let's switch over to the darker one right here. Okay. Got a little bit of detailing in here, a little bit of shadow. So what I'm going to do is just put a little bit of shading there. And then I'm going to take my shading tool and use that to just smudge out some. So it's not quite so dark. If I use the pencil to keep shading, that's never going to be quite the right, like it'll always be a little bit too dark. So we'll just lift it onto this. And actually, I should have, yeah, sure, you'll work. So what I can do is take a scratch piece of paper and just scribble on it. Lift a little bit of that pigment or the charcoal there. And now I can use this to do shading that's a bit softer than what I would get with the pencil. And I can keep relifting as I need to. So not everything needs to be done with the pencil itself. You have to be careful not to overdo this though. Like if you are trying to do everything with the shading tool, I've seen people work that way because it feels safer. Everything ends up looking very fuzzy. You've got to use the pencils to clean things up and get those sharper edges. So don't just do this, but this does give us a nice soft basin through here. I'm basically mapping out where are the general lights and darks. Okay, and then I can get a little bit darker on some of this, so I'm going to switch back to the pencils as I work my way out here. I'm not worrying about details right now so much as just where are my lights and darks. I'll come back through and define the little hairs in a bit here. But I am, at the same time, while I'm not so worried about little details, I do want this moving in about the right direction for the fur. smudge that out a bit. Now, charcoal is a really versatile medium. You can go from having it look hyper realistic, you'd want to work a lot larger in order to do that, to just photorealism, which is my preference, or even sketchy. When it comes to charcoal, I like the sketchy look, and that's what you'll get a little bit more up here. I like the pencil sketches in that, the look that that gives. But you've got like so many different styles that you're able to do with this medium. I'm going to fix this again a little bit bigger. There we go. And this reference photo you can download over at patreon.com/Lachri. The direct link is in the video description, so you can follow along. If you are following along, don't follow along with the reference photo because I don't need a palette out tonight. We've got the reference photo on the screen. Screen. I cannot talk the last couple of days. It's been terrible. But you do want the bigger version to look at if you're like seriously trying to draw this. If you're going by what's on camera, that is not going to, it is too little. See, I'm just pretty loose here trying to, let's see, we've got your darker, got a little bit of a highlight in here, and darker right under. And then we've got this shadow that comes down this way, so we'll lightly get that in. I'm still using the soft, right? Yep. Now I'm going to go ahead and put in these so I don't lose my place. I'll have to define them a bit better later, but it just makes my life a little bit easier when we get to that stage. I forgot to draw his lips right in there. Okay, and then I'm going to shade that out. If you're working in a sketchbook, it's not as big of a deal. You're not trying to really produce the most archival products, but try to avoid blending with your fingers when you can, because this will help using a shading tool like this, or like you could even take a piece of paper towel and wrap it around your finger. I've used cotton swabs, anything like that will keep the oils from your skin off the work. So much better for making it stay archival. I want to shade some of this a little bit darker than I want that end result to be so that I can come on with my white pencil in a bit here. And I may have the link for the paper. It might be black because I think I use that by default most of the time. But the same brand, Inktense and MeWe, they'll have a bunch on there for different gray tones. And you can do this on any colored Inktense and MeWe. But yes, this is a gray. It's not white. You could do it on white. It doesn't matter. So we've got the mane up here. Again, I'm working off where the mat is going to cover just so that I'm sure I've got something to fill that in. Now, this is not going to have that dark of an outline. It's that this line that I just did, I'm going to shade into the background so that the white highlight, like that when I come back through with, will be what most of that is. I'm not going to leave it looking like an outline that way. And this is a very messy stage, just mapping it all out so I know where everything goes before I start focusing on detail. This is actually going to be soft, so let's fill that in first. This is the part that gets darker. And we've got the inside of the ear, so that's going to be a lot darker. What are you doing? Oh, dragon's climbing up there. I hear his nails scratching his enclosure. He's going mountain climbing, apparently. I've got this dark patch. I'm still using the softer pencil. Right behind the ear. I'm going to pull it down this way. And then this whole area is going to be a lot darker. I'm just going to go a bit solid. I'll be using the white pencil along with the dark pencils. I'll fill that in later, but I just want to get that darker now. Okay, we've got these chunks of hair. Now this is the part where people have a tendency, now this isn't going to look super realistic yet, we'll come back into that, but this is the part that I was talking about where people kind of mess up with the fur. What people like to do for lion fur, so let's say here's his ear, here's his happy eye, give him some eyelashes. So we're going super realistic. There's his nose. He's a deer now. But let's turn him into a like the actual hair. People want to do this. Long hair. Now he's a My Little Pony. Actually, let's continue on with the My Little Pony theme, because that actually would be the same. It's not long individual strands let's now turn him into a lion. Roar. It's funny how just a few changes in a line can completely, whiskers, change stuff. I'm obviously not going realistic here. Oh, you couldn't see part of his face. I was just being dumb. But anyway, this is not lion hair. It doesn't matter if it's straight. It doesn't matter if it's wiggly. I don't care how many lines you put. That is never going to look like lion hair. What's going to look like the fur is these chunks that I'm doing in here. Whoops, I'm being attacked. They're shorter little clumps that build together to make that big flowing mane. We also have a super chat from DJ who said, gotta wake up the boys. I missed them. Thank you so much. You guys want a super chat? I think that's a yes. They're big ones today. Those are big super chats. Oh, tasty. Take that to your bed. Go on. Thank you so much, DJ. The boys definitely thank you. I get a treat too then. Okay. A mouse with a mullet. But I mean that you can see what I'm talking about. Like that is never I don't care how many of those lines you do, it will never look realistic. What we want to do, I mean, even assuming it was drawn as an actual lion and not a My Little Pony / mouse / deer / lion. What we want are these thinner clumps. What we want is a sharper pencil. And I'm just using these little Coom metal sharpeners. Now, if your lead starts breaking, it may just be the lead. The softer the lead, the more it's going to break and snap. Lay down, Gibson. But sometimes if your lead or your pencil sharpener is even a little bit dull, charcoal pencils don't play really nice with the dull sharpener, so just swap out for a newer one. And I don't care if these clumps are exact, but they need to be clumps. And we'll define all of this a lot better in a bit. We've got more of the darker hair under his chin, so we need to darken that up. I'm going to blend this out. I'm just, again, mapping out the messiness before we clean it all up. Blending tool, there it is. And I'm not pushing very hard at all, just lightly dragging to get a grayish tone on everything. Yeah, this gets cut off by the mat, but I still want to have it filled in anyway. Okay. Which pencil did I grab? Soft. We're good. So we've got the darker area here. Now this gives us our basic form. It doesn't look good yet. That's what we're about to make happen. I mean, the eye looks good, but nothing else does. Rob said, you did a review of my charcoal lion and you can see exactly an example of fur just like you described. Yeah, it's very common. Like it's not like a, when you do it, you're alone and oh my gosh, I'm not doing a great job. No, everyone does that. And it is not, they're not that flowy. It's not people hair. It's just really dense clumps of fur. Okay, so we've got the ear. We're gonna start shading here. Where do I want to start? Do I want to start around the eye and work my way out? Decisions. Or do I want to start at the ear? Let's get the ear out of the way because I always hate doing ears. I don't hate them. They're just not like one of those things where you look at it and people aren't ever going to come up to your painting and go, wow, the ears are amazing. But if you half bake the ears, it's obvious. So you still have to put in, like, they take a weird amount of work for how little credit they get in the end piece. Got all this fluff. Using that white pencil for a bit. Speaking of critiques, I'm going to be doing another one. Next week we're doing a ferret and pan pastel and colored pencil. And then I think the week after is going to be a critique. So those of you over on Patreon, if you are not already there, or even if you are there, just go ahead and start planning out what it is you might want to submit if you want to have your work critiqued. That is coming. So what I do, I'm going to just keep refining this area more and more and more. Just look at the photo, pay attention to the direction of the fur. Obviously not every individual strand, especially on something this size, that is just never gonna happen. I mean, it can happen. There are people who work in miniatures and get crazy detail. That doesn't sound fun to me. So I'm not gonna do it. I'm still using that soft one right now. And any single thing, if you struggle to make it look realistic, work in charcoal for a while on it. Not on the, like, let's say you're doing an acrylic painting. I don't mean use charcoal directly on that. I mean, let's say you struggle with long fur, or you struggle with getting realistic leaves on a tree. Practice doing it in charcoal and really, because it's so fast. Charcoal is very, very quick to work in. So you could spend 45 minutes on a charcoal piece and really get a good understanding of the subject that you're working on, especially, you know, do that subject over and over again. 45 minutes per piece. If you're working in acrylics, you're going to spend, you know, 2 weeks on that piece. You're not going to learn quite as much, I don't think, as fast on certain things as you would in charcoal. We often think that learning to paint or learning to draw, each medium is a whole separate thing to learn. And in a sense it is, but the things that actually make your work look good, the values, really the values in accurate drawing, those are the things that make your work look good. Understanding how to get the darks dark enough, the lights light enough, and getting things in accurately, that doesn't matter what medium. That spreads across any medium. So like I can do something in watercolor. I am not a good watercolor artist. I don't know the trick. I've never done, I mean, I used them vaguely. I use them under colored pencils. I can't talk. I've said a lot tonight. I'm aware. I'm driving myself crazy with it. But you can't, where was I going with that? you can learn that on any medium. It doesn't have to be in the medium you're working in. You don't need to perfect your values in acrylics to be good at acrylics. Perfect them in charcoal, which is faster and easier. Then when you go into acrylics, you can apply that lesson. So going back to watercolor, I'm not some amazing watercolor artist, but I can make really cool paintings in watercolor, not using traditional watercolor techniques because I just don't know them. That's never been really my medium. But I can do them combined with colored pencil. I just love that look. But I was able to jump from one medium over to a medium I'm not at all familiar with, or even like Inktense right away. My first Inktense sketch wasn't great. When I tried it my second time, I loved it. You know, once I got the hang of using the medium, I'm applying what I already know about values from other mediums to that medium. So you can cross back and forth from medium to medium. Point is, you can learn with charcoal faster because I can get a piece done really quick, perfecting my values, perfecting my drawing skills, perfecting those elements. That way, when I go on to another medium, or you go on to another medium, you're going to be able to apply those techniques, those skills, to the other medium. I apologize if I get over the top redundant. It's hard to draw and focus on what I've already said. So I end up repeating myself way more than necessary. You're welcome. I mean, I tend to do that anyway, but it's worse when I'm trying to do the two things at once. Find the edge of that ear, and I'm going to pull little hairs. They're kind of curving out. They're all slightly curved. Be careful not to do a lot of really straight lines or any straight lines. Every line in here is going to be at least slightly curved. This gets cut off, so we're not worrying about that. Actually, I want to get the inside of this ear a bit darker and then put the white over it. And I'm, again, just look at it. Close is close enough here. I don't need any of this exact. The wind blows, the hair moves, so it's not a huge deal if it's a little off. Should probably sharpen that pencil. Using the hard one here, so it's going to make it a little darker, not that much darker. Wait, you're this one. Okay, you're this one. Losing my place there. Lord, you can tell Matt left the room. The birds are losing their crap. They're mad that I'm not in there already. I usually go in and hang out with everybody at 8 o'clock. So live stream night, they're not happy I'm not there to play too. I mean, they've got Matt, but they want the whole flock together. I was going to bring French Fry in tonight since he has lost some of his freedom. He's been eating my door frame. I know how to fix it, but I can't fix it right away because the paint fumes. I'd have to move French Fry and Tuna out of the room to be able to fix it. So I've got this door frame where he's been chipping the edge up. Can't do that. So he can't be out of his cage if I'm not in the room, which means he's spending a little bit more time in the cage. He's still out a lot, but a little bit more time than he's used to. So I felt bad. I was going to let him hang out, but then I remembered I have been oil painting this week. No birds in the studio when oil painting has been happening. That is stuck. Get out of there. Okay, I need something to unstick this. Wait, did I get it? Oh, I got it. So French Fry has to wait till I'm done. Okay, which pencil? Soft. Okay, making sure I've got the right one. I'm going to darken up now, just right in here. See how it just keeps clean, getting it a little bit more refined, a little bit cleaner, a little bit cleaner. I'm taking the black in between some of the light hairs I've already got in there. So I'm not just putting new hairs. That's a mistake that a lot of people make. They keep putting new lines. They're all new lines. Work with the lines you've got. So I've established, like say right there, I've got a line that goes there and I want to darken here. Work within what you've established. Are they exact to the photo? No, but they weren't going to be exact either if you just kept adding more and more random lines. Work in between what you have. is going to have a lot of fluff here. That comes down. A little bit of shading here. Probably should have switched to the harder lead. That is really soft. Are you trying to escape, Dragon? Yeah, he is. He wants out. He's running. I don't think you can see him. You can kind of see him. Can you see him in his tank back there running back and forth? He's scratching. He wants to come out, but he can't come out because the dogs are in here. He's like, let out. That's funny. Banging on the glass isn't going to work, sir. He is really trying to get out. He's like, want free. He's finally up from brumation, and man, is he active. The bearded dragons, they don't all do it. He's the first one. My last one, the first one we had back in, when did we have her? 2000? That was a long time ago. But she didn't go into brumation. He did. And so he basically goes to sleep for months at a time in the winter, mostly in the winter. He kind of did a mild summer one. But he's finally up again and active and wants out bad. Yesterday, he pooped on his basking spot, his basking platform, and lay in it. He normally does not, if he poops, he does not go near it. He'll like climb up as high as possible and look down at it like it's gonna get him. I couldn't believe he was laying in it. So he had to get a bath. So I give him a bath, and I'm trying to be all sanitary. I've got two, like the main bath, and then he'll go into the clean water tub, and I've got gloves on because who knows, you know, dragons can have different parasites and stuff. So I'm trying to be sanitary with the whole poop thing. He ran away at one point. I had to catch him with a towel. I put him back in the water. He's splashing all over. He got poo water in my face. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get pink eye or Ebola or both at this point because he decided I needed a bath in poo water. That was disgusting. And he was quite pleased with himself when the whole thing was over. And I had to clean the basking spot. It was a whole thing, a whole thing. He doesn't normally go up there. Like, he usually goes down in the dirt, so it's way easier to clean. But he decided to be a spicy dragon who is still trying to escape. Yeah, brumation's kind of like hibernation. It's not really hibernation, but it's kind of like they don't eat for months. They'll kind of wake up occasionally and then go back to sleep. Yeah, that is. And they don't all do it. Some will never do it. I mean, on the plus side, I have a couple months where I don't need to clean up or feed him. But it also appears like I have an empty tank because he goes to sleep down in the cave. Speaking of dragon, while I do this fur, because it's just kind of a rinse-repeat process. Also, one of the things with charcoal, this looks more like my lines are really thick. They're much softer, much more realistic looking in person, and it's unfortunately just an issue with the camera. I don't know what it does to make it look so thick. It's so soft looking in person. So try to, soften yours out. We don't want it that plastic looking like what screen has, unfortunately. But I got a raised flower bed he likes dandelions. So I bought this big L-shaped on Amazon, had one on sale, raised, what are they, galvanized steel flower bed. I have a corner of the yard where I don't really grow anything. Grass doesn't grow there. It doesn't get quite enough sun for Bermuda. So kind of it does, kind of it doesn't. Anyway, I'm going to grow dandelions. I collected a bunch of dandelion seeds and I'm going to plant them. And then on Etsy, I ordered somebody who makes these custom signs. It has flowers and it's so pretty. Metal sign. It's 14 inches round and it's going to have, say, dragon food over it since it's his little, for flower. Well, he'll share with the bees. The bees can have some of the dandelions too. So I'm super excited. That will be one of my other projects. Monday I'll be putting that together. I think it gets delivered Monday, so maybe Tuesday. This weekend I'll get the dirt. What are you doing? He's digging, trying to dig under. Can you see him? He's trying to dig under. He's moved all the dirt and trying to, you can see the movement there. That dragon is, yeah, we see you. We know what you're doing there, sir. You cannot come out. I can't babysit you right now, even if the dogs weren't in here. He likes to get behind things that are very hard to get him out of. Okay, again, back to the clusters. See how I'm clumping, getting these clumps in here? We need to be a lot darker. Oh, please don't scratch the glass like that. That is a horrible sound, Dragon. So you guys don't usually, he's not usually awake at all, even when he's not brumating during the live stream. That might be a first. Has he ever been his let me out self when you guys were here? I need that to be a lot darker so that the light can come through. We're gonna blend that. Or not come through, but go on top. Ooh, Lily, that's a good question. I will be answering. Yes, I've got lots of suggestions for you on that one. When we're done with the artwork, we will be focusing on that. Okay, this part, I'm not going to put nearly as much detail. We just want to get those general clumps, but I don't put as much detail as we move away from the face. Start pulling this in. Now, right now, see how this kind of comes straight down? Now, the mat's, again, going to cut most of that, but I want to soften some of this. Let's pull some in so it's not all like straight row, straight row. Well, it does typically go in rows. I want to break that up a little bit. That works better. Yeah, so the dragon food sign is going to hang on the fence right behind the flower bed. So I thought that would be really cute. I was thinking about maybe planting other wildflowers that bees might like too in there. I don't know. We'll see how much room the dandelions fill out. I don't know though. I bought the dandelions, or I didn't buy them. I have dandelion seeds, but I collected seeds like locally from the area, from my yard, and they'll grow anywhere except, I have a feeling, where I want them to. Darken up some of the deeper areas just a little bit and pull some out. Oops, that is not the white pencil. Okay, let's move on. I'm going to start now around the eye and work my way out. And we'll come back. This is probably not done. But I do want to show you, let's see if it shows on this camera. I had the same problem with the cow. The calf I did recently looked so much better in, in person than it did on camera. But let's see if you can kind of see, it's much softer than what it's looking like on camera. The camera makes it look just a lot more harsh. So you're losing that pretty softness that charcoal gives. Dragon, you cannot come out right now. That is funny. Nick says, Leo wants to share his snack virtually with the lads. Aw, thank you, Leo. Do you boys want a super chat? They're like, this dragon is freaking out back here. They're not even used to being in here when dragon's freaking out. Usually dragon does that about 3 p.m. in the afternoon, and the boys aren't in here at that point, so they wouldn't even notice. This is new. You're usually sleeping. You're adorable. I would bring him up to show you, but he's so wiggly. He's way too worked up. And oh my gosh, you were shaking you one out so bad. Holy crap, dragon. Seriously? He's in the corner. You can't, the lighting doesn't look good. He's actually like an orange color. If it kind of shows you, he looks just blue in this lighting. Okay, lay down. You are not coming out, sir. Boys, down, down, down. Dragon. Okay. Now on to the parts that make this look really good. So we've got these lighter areas in here. I want to open his eye up just a bit. I'm going to pull this down a little bit more and a little bit more up here. And I'm going to pull this corner in a bit, round that off. That is, yeah, that's the hard lead. He is losing his mind back there. Oh my gosh. Seriously, sir. It actually kind of makes me happy. I mean, it's noisy. I don't know if you guys probably can't hear it that much on the camera, but it makes me happy because every year when he goes into brumation, I always worry. So he was the dragon. We actually didn't think he was going to live to maturity because as a baby, he was having seizures. And like we were doing everything right. He was getting the right calcium. He had the right lighting. I mean, I research my animal like a lot. So I'm always doing whatever the current, standard of care is. Just, again, following direction of fur here. But and no one knew why he was having those seizures. So we think there's a virus that is it a virus? I think it's a virus, that is really common with bearded dragons now. And so it's probably, like they were thinking it was that. But if that is the case, either way, he outgrew it because he's obviously fine. But I've always been like worried, over the top worried about his health because of that. And he stopped having the seizures, but he hasn't had that in, God, way over a year. We're coming up on 2 years. It's been a long time now since he had them, but I've always worried extra. I worry anyway. That's what I do. But no, kind of, when I see him like being extra spicy, it just makes me happy because it's like, yay, he's healthy. Look how well he's doing. I don't know if he's that happy right now because he really wants out. I had to dragon proof the studio. This is the room he gets to run around in when he wants out. I put pool noodles. I got black pool noodles so you really don't even notice them. And I put them under all the furniture so he can't jam himself up in there. Okay, the glass scratching. Now that is kind of makes me cringe. I would prefer if you did not do that, sir. Okay, I'm not going to do the hairs coming out here because I need to do the background first. So we'll do everything before that. But yeah, I've got stuff like boards that have to block everything that are really hard to get to him from. And then when he does, you go to put him away, he doesn't like it. So he'll flip around and act like he's going to bite you. I have to catch him in a towel. What I need to do, one of my plans, I bought saws. That was my Christmas present this year. I've got new saws that I've never used a saw. But I bought them and I have all kinds of projects I want to do with them. But one of the things I want to make is a ramp. Cover it in carpet so he can walk up and down, like in and out of his tank when he wants to, so I don't have to catch him to put him in there because he can't get back in on his own. So that's one of the plans for things I want to build. Dragon wants, where was his eyelash? Right here, yeah. Again, just looking at where are the general lights and darks, which direction does that fur move in? I'm going to switch over to the hard lead for a bunch of these little ones. Yeah, DJ says he wants a superworm. I don't have any right now. I need to place a dubia.com order, and that's where I get his superworms and his dubia roaches. I will never feed him crickets again. I have to have crickets all the time, so you'd think that would be convenient. I have them for my red-eye tree frogs. Well, because I went with the bioactive soil, which I don't even have any isopods in there right now, but because I went with that, the crickets breed in the dry soil, as it turns out. In his last tank, there were just hundreds of little baby crickets all over. And you think, oh, great food. No, I don't want him eating those because those aren't covered in calcium and they can bite him. So he only gets dubia roaches now. He doesn't get crickets. That's the other thing. I don't want him having it every day now that he's an adult. He's not supposed to, it causes gout if you give him too many bugs. So he has, yeah, he gets dubia roaches. So I need to place an order soon anyway, so I'll have to get him some not superworms, hornworms. Those are his favorites. That is like the best thing in the world, apparently. Hornworms. Let's see, this curls down below this. Let's pull you down. I don't care if the curls and floof is exact. That doesn't matter to me, but I can make it a little bit closer than what I've got. not going to work, sir. You can keep up with your dragon drama, but I'm not opening the door. Pretty sure you would leap out right now. Although he was doing that the other day, and I opened it, I was going to bring him out, and he flips around like he was going to be mean. I'm like, well, then you can stay in there. I was going to bring you out. Just drama. That was the day before he decided I wanted poo water in my face. You just pick one small area to kind of focus on. Look at the reference photo. And I also feel like on the camera it almost has a green tint to it. This is a definite black and white, like the photo itself. Some soft little hairs in here. I'm using that hard lead now. When you do those individual furs, make sure they're overlapping, that you get that clumping and clustering together. Jason said, did you say cornworms? I know I didn't know, no, hornworms. They're bright green, they're beautiful actually. It was funny, we were at the reptile store. We've got, if you're in the Dallas area, you know DFW Reptarium, which is like the best reptile store. So we were in there and a lady was there apparently gonna get her kid a pet of some sort, and they're looking at like spiders, because they have jumping spiders. Actually, I sold some of my baby jumping spiders to them months ago, but they're looking at all of these different critters, and the kid sees the bright lime green hornworms and wanted one of those, and it came, they sell them in like a 5-pack. She wanted some, and the worker is like, yeah, that's not like, those aren't pets, that's not going to work out for you. But I thought it was cute because the hornworms are actually really pretty. I mean, if you like worms, they're cute. They almost look like little cartoons. So it's kind of sad to feed them to dragon. He doesn't think so. He thinks they look like the tastiest thing in the world. He will dive across that tank to get to a hornworm. Oops, that curves down. And this is where we're going to get the nose. I'm not going to try to put on little hairs here. This is really short fur, so we just leave it more. Let's see, that comes up here. Curves in and then back up. And then we've got the super light area here. I really should do the, can't do too much on the outer edges until I get that background in, so we're just kind of blocking those in. We've got the lion lips. Okay, let's get back up here. So let's see, we have this area is a little bit lighter. And then we've got this area, kind of comes up at an angle. And then it sort of, he's got a little bit of a swirl. This fur is going this direction. Make sure those are super short. Some of mine are getting a little long there. If they get too long, it makes it look furrier than what you want. Just soften that a bit. And then we've got the lighter area that comes down this way. Again, my brush strokes are getting a little too long. It'll shorten those up. And if they get too long, it's not a big deal. Just go over it with shorter, like break it up. some lighter ones in here so they're mixed colors. Let's use that hard lead. Need to go ahead and sharpen that guy. But notice these rows. Now they're very exaggerated right now, but whenever you're drawing animals, you're going to see a lot of that in the fur, these rows and clumps. And we'll tone that down. We're not going to leave it that harsh, but it is a good visualization. Seriously, why? I cannot pronounce things lately. Of that look. Or of that phenomenon. I don't know what we want to call it. See, you curve this way. And we've got this kind of lighter patch right here. And then another one up here. And then this one here. Notice they're all going a different direction in that little clump. You know, for the charcoal piece, I may do a marine piece too. I know Lily's on a marine kick as well, but I don't know that have I done, I mean, I definitely have in the past. I've done orcas, so I have done marine stuff in charcoal, but something like super detailed would be fun. Like a little bit larger, like 11 by 14 or something. Okay, again, I can't do too much around this area until I get the background in. I'm also on a floral kick though, so maybe, I don't know. I got a new phone and I've always had live wallpapers, but no one makes new good wallpapers anymore, so I said, screw it, I'm just gonna put a basic, like I wanted a different, I've been using the same live wallpapers for 11 years. Like the same guy who makes, there's only one guy who really makes good ones that I like. But anyway, so I've been on this like floral kick since that's what I used on my phone. Is that not like one of the most old ladies? Did I just age myself so much there? I want everything floral lately. I am turning into my grandma. I'm not upset about it. One of my grandmas I don't remember being big into floral. The one that's passed, she had more like kind of the country style in her house, which seemed really grandma to me at the time, and now I want it. Or I want that style, I mean. Soften some of that out so I can come back through with the white. Again, mine is much, much softer than what you're seeing on the camera because the camera makes it weird and chunky looking. So try to go for that softer look. I think it looks nicer. I'm going to leave that alone until I get the background in because I've got a lot more work to do there, but it kind of goes around that whole area. So let's go back with this soft. I need to just kind of shade some of that too. Let's just put a little bit of, not pushing hard. I just want to get some shadow in there so that I can put the white hairs over it. Yeah, the breaching orcas, Jason said, didn't I do that in charcoal? Yeah, I did, but I did it on the live stream. I haven't done a detailed, like for a Patreon lesson of anything marine. I may do a sea turtle again. I may just be on a sea turtle kick, but I'm not sure. I love marine life, black and white paintings with marine life, because you don't see it that often, I think. I just think it's so striking. It's so pretty. So I'm kind of selling myself on that right now. Like we've got a more detailed horse. I think there was a leopard. Is it a leopard or a jaguar? I don't remember now. A lion. We've got a few of the detailed charcoal pieces. You know, there's a portrait. I just want to get the hint of texture in here with the fur. It's not exact, but I do get like little dots. Some lines, but mostly just dots, watching how they're clumped together to get that texture. I have to be careful though. If I do too much marine life, I get complaints. For some reason, that seems to be marine life or surreal work is one of the things I will have people leave Patreon over if I do too many in a row. It's definitely like not everybody likes it. So that's why I always try to make sure I mix in, like, don't do too many of the same thing over and over again. How I could combine marine life with flowers in black and white. Oh, I've already got ideas with orcas and flowers growing on their backs. And like, I don't know. My brain is going. But the problem is when I start doing that, I'm coming, like the whole point was I wanted a more simple project. I'm over here already making like this super long drawn out one. I don't know, maybe worth it. I'm not pushing very hard because I just want the hint of, like I want it to be a lighter gray or a medium, darker gray. Darker is the word I'm looking for there. Now I'm going to leave this for just a moment. I'll have to darken a lot of that, but I need to get the background in so that I can then overlap some of this fur and then work my way back the other direction. Itchy nose. Allie's, whenever I scratch my nose or my face when I'm working with charcoal, I tend to get it all over myself. Okay, so now I could do this with charcoal powder. That would probably be easier. You could use a charcoal pencil, but I'm going to grab, where is my charcoal powder? I think it's in here. Maybe not. No. There we go. And I need something super soft, so I don't know. This might be too soft. I might need a soft tool or something like that. If I can find them. Just those ones? Weird. Okay, well, let's do you and put a new cover on. Where are the covers? Gosh, I lost everything. I just saw those the other day and thought, oh, that's where those are. No, I apparently cannot tell you where that was. Seriously? Like, and by the other day, I mean yesterday. I saw them yesterday. The whole set of it, but there they are. And I thought, oh, I don't need these. Along with, oh, that's where they are. So here's the thing with the soft tools, I'm able to get it a lot darker, but with the brush, so something like this is going to give me a powder, this is a mop brush, that's going to give me a softer look, but it doesn't stick that well to the paper at all. You'll see it kind of, I get a lot of fall off with this. So this is the charcoal powder I have. They have different brands. I'm not sure if they still make this one because I bought it forever ago, and it lasts you the rest of your life. They should all be the same. It shouldn't matter which brand you find though. And I just dipped it in there and you can see how dark that is. I'm going to tap most of that off because that is a lot and it goes all over the place. But as you brush it on this way, it's super, super soft. Actually, this will probably be soft enough. I don't think I'm going to need the soft tool. nose a little bit so that it looks like it goes behind. I'm just going to dab that in there again. And I end up with a lot of fall off, so I'll have to take like a wet cloth or wet rag and clean off my easel when I'm done. And I want to make sure this looks like it's going behind the lion, so I'm going right over his nose. Now you see why I didn't want to put too much detail there, because I knew I'd be covering it. I'm not loving, okay, let's see if I can get this lid back on without making a total mess. Nope, total mess made. Oh yeah, oh Lord, that is, now I remember why I didn't do it that way last time. Lord, you should see, okay, hold on, I need paper towels. This is a bit bad. Oh, where are they? They talk about being an artist and being messy and how fun that, I don't like mess at all. Everything should be clean all the time. Oh, hell, that is not the bottle I thought it was. I just sprayed Spectre Fix all over a paper towel. That's kind of would work, but no. New paper towel. Let's try that again. I am on a roll. I sprayed that and then I thought, wait, isn't my Fine Mist sprayer in with my spiders right now because I sprayed their tanks earlier? Yep, it is. That was Spectre Fix. Okay. Now we'll use an actual spray bottle with water so I can clean up the, like, can you, look at the charcoal. That's a mountain of charcoal. It doesn't really look like it on camera, but there's a mountain of charcoal. That is going to end up all over my hands. And the problem is, the reason that I don't like having a big mess, okay, I don't like anything to be a mess, so I'm trying to like downplay my being weird about this, but it also, when it gets all over your hands, it gets all over, like you end up with fingerprints on everything. So I want to clean that up, just kind of wipe that off before that turns into an even bigger mess. There we go. I think we are good. And see, now it's like all over my hands where it wasn't before. And charcoal is actually not that messy. Not like pastels end up everywhere. Charcoals do not. Okay, and actually I want to take this little bit of fabric and, or not fabric, Viva paper towel and just soften out that edge. And I want to soften this one. Okay, now I can come back through and do all the details. So we have the fur in here. We're going to get the hint of some of that in the direction that that goes. Most of this is going to be soft. We've got hair that sticks out here. We've got some whiskers that are, or not whiskers, eyebrows, eyelashes, I don't know. I'm going to switch to the hard. I've got a few of the darker ones sticking out there. Some of that probably gets chopped by the mat. This, let's see, we've got a little bit of a line this way. Some little lines that curve in. We've got a, let's see, that should be defined a little bit better there, and then come up. We've got a dark smudge here. Looks like an old scratch or something. Not really part of his nose, so I want to make sure that doesn't look like not quite as dark as the nose. Lighter line there for the other side of the nose, like just kind of the hint. You're not seeing a lot of that. Now we've got, still using that hard lead so it's not super dark. Some detailing in here. I'll switch over to the softer one right in there. Now it's super short here. It starts to get a little bit longer as we move down. Push a little bit harder, fill that in, let that be really light. Same thing as got some of the mane that's showing on the other side of his head. So actually we'll use the black. I need, not the soft, I want the hard. Right there to define where his head is versus the mane on the other side. You can kind of see it in the photo. He's got some little strands out there. I'll definitely make that a lot brighter. Break some of that dark area up. Just little dots, just creating the hint of detail. It's like the illusion of detail. So you've got the texture, but not all the little hairs. I do want to soften that a bit. Okay, this area is super bright and it fades out as we move back. So I'm pushing a lot harder with that pencil. The white pencil, it's a harder lead. You can safely push pretty hard with it without it breaking. I mean, compared to a lot of charcoal pencils anyway. So we've got the shiny part on his lip here. And these are going to be a little bit more straight than a lot of the other hairs. It's one of the few areas that has some of the straight lines. I want to make sure, watch how you've got a highlight here. Whoops, frozen easel cam, thank you. Let me fix that. Which camera? Easel. Deactivate. Thanks, Nick. Activate. And we're back. And we also, Art by MB said, hi puppers, just got here. Oh, they already know. Do you boys want a super chat? Did Dragon go to bed? Oh, I think he did. Yeah, he's in his cave. He finally gave up. There we go. Thank you so much. Oh, there's, well, whoever grabs that one. Good cow. That was a big one too. Thank you so much. And I'll be going over all of your questions. I'm not ignoring anybody. I'll be going over all the questions when we're done here. Lay down. I could hear you sniffing. I knew you weren't laying down. So again, just creating that illusion of texture. It's not like tons of perfect little detail, but it gives you that look. Now this is way too light, but it should be lighter than, it should be lighter than this, but not as light as what I've got over here. Oh, I didn't even finish over here. So I'll go back and add some of the hard lead over it. And just lightly. Soften that up a bit. I'm using the soft lead, making the area around the mouth a bit darker. And we'll come on top of a bunch of that with the white. These are mostly dots because these are shorter bits of fur and they're aiming at the viewer, so you're not going to have like the long drawing. The long line, sorry. Here we have the long line. They're not aimed at the viewer. I'm going to pull some more of the dark in here. This is with the soft lead. The soft lead, or the hard lead, sorry, is also great for blending. Like you don't have, I don't have to go over it as much with the blending tool because it kind of blends on its own. I'm just adding some more little hairs in there, just working with what I've already got, getting some more of that salt and pepper look. And it froze again. What is with you tonight, camera? Deactivate. Activate. And we're back. Sorry about that. Actually, I'm a little more zoomed in on this one than I need to be. Well, I wasn't using that camera anyway. This one is, yeah, that one shows you mostly everything. Hold on, scooch you a little bit. Apparently some of that was off camera. There we go. I want to get some little white hairs up in here. We can start putting in some of the whiskers. Make sure this is dark enough back here before I put the whiskers over it though. And that is, oh yeah, that is the right one for whiskers. I should sharpen it though. So we've got some little guys up here. Anywhere I want a little bit brighter, I can push a bit harder. Now I want to darken a few more spots. I have to work in between the whiskers now. This whole area could be a lot darker. I'm just going to pull a few of these out a bit brighter. Let's tone some down too. I'm just toning them down with the hard lead, hence the super scratchy sounds you're getting. I love this stage because I'm really going through, I've already got everything pretty much mapped out. It just, where can I make it a little bit darker or a little bit lighter? We've got a scratch on the nose, something like that. It doesn't need to be exact because it's a scratch. That could be any shape. There would be eyelashes up here somewhere, but you can't really see them because the white. Just going through and correcting values. So, I mean, it looked fine. I could have called it done, but by coming through and spending a little bit of extra time and making a few areas a bit darker, a few areas a bit lighter, you can get a much more, fix that shape there a little bit. You can get a much more, or a lot more depth in it. It just looks more realistic, even though it's not about the detail. And I think that's, again, I keep talking about that the detail is not the thing that will really make it look realistic. It's the values. Get those darks dark enough, those lights light enough, that high contrast. Break that one up a little bit. It's getting too long. When I use that softer lead though, it is a lot more rough, so I'm just going to soften it out a bit. It gets nice and dark, but also really, like, and again, that grainy gritty, I like that. I like the sketchy look with charcoal, but I don't need it that sketchy. Soften that a bit. Okay, now before I sign it, I need, actually I'm going to go even darker here. Let's go right in here, a lot darker. It's so easy to see stuff and want to keep, like, oh, I can chase this a little bit more here, a little bit more there. You can generally pretty safely make things darker than what your reference photo is, and it's going to look better. Leaving it too light, it feels safe, but it's not going to look as good. You've got some of these deeper spots. I'm just going to pull those down. Okay, I think we're about done. So now I need to know where to sign it. I've got to grab a mat, and whoever wins this, you can't see him in the other camera. What can't, huh? Oh, can't wait to see him in the other camera. I should read properly, right? So that will be, oh, how pretty is that when it's matted? Right about there. I need to brighten the chin fur up. But I'm going to sign here. I think here would just draw attention where I don't want it, so we'll leave it back here. But I do think that this, once I saw that together, I think we can make that a little bit brighter. So I'm just going back over that and pushing a bit harder. And that'll look a little bit brighter if I pull a little bit of dark in between it so they're right up against each other. Lost that whisker. We'll just draw right back over it. Oh yeah, this could definitely be darker right in here. So if your lights aren't bright enough, make the darks darker. Like sometimes that's really what's needed. Soften that out. I'm just making those brights a little bit, pushing them a little bit more. Okay, there we go. Oh, I like how this guy came out. Now let me show you in the other camera and then we'll move on to answering your questions. It looks so much better in person than it does in camera. Like the difference is crazy. So that's one thing, a big complaint I have with the video cameras, that this one's pretty accurate, but it has such a softer look. I don't know what it is about that. It makes all the lines look really thick when they're not. So you lose that softness. But there you go. Starting bid is $70. If you want to bid on him, he comes matted. So he will fit in overall sizes 8x10. The artwork itself is 5x7 if you're in the US. So there we go. I'm going to bid an angle so you can see the lighting better. Oh, I love how I'm happy with him. Yay. Okay. Now on to your art questions. My hands are dirty. Hold on. I don't want to get charcoal all over my light pink phone case. I have priorities. Yes, that's what matters to me right now. Also, I really have an itchy nose, but I have a feeling I'm going to end up with charcoal all over my face if I scratch it. We're into allergy season. Okay. On to questions. Which app? There we go. Discord. Angel Marie said, have you ever considered making a video about how you pack big paintings or drawings for shipping? Shipping large drawings is intimidating. Yeah, it's intimidating for me. That's why I don't do it. I don't feel like I could give you the best advice on how to do it because I don't feel like I'm super great at it, honestly. Smaller stuff is a lot easier. You can get, the tips I can give you are, you can get boxes from Amazon of all different sizes. So with bigger paintings, you're sometimes looking at like TV shipping and packing boxes, but you've got to make it thicker. Like there was one painting I shipped up to Canada years ago when I used to do international stuff. Luckily, my mom worked at a place that could ship internationally, but the shipping ended up costing, I want to say it was $125. The painting was not much more than that. Back then, I mean, we're talking like 1999, 2000, 2001, something like that. And that was a 24 by 30 or no, it was bigger. That was a 30 by 40 inch. That was a big one. But it was so 125 back then, really expensive. Luckily for me, UPS lost it. And so they gave me back my shipping money. They eventually did find it like 3 months later. So, or maybe, I don't remember how long it was a long time. But the way way that was packed, the guys at my mom's work took wood, actual wood to create a frame to keep the painting safe inside and then box on top of that. I can't pack stuff like that. I can't even imagine how much it would cost to box with wood. So I get boxes from Amazon, or a lot of stuff when I've shipped bigger ones, it was like, I had a big dog crate. My dog crate's this huge, like the furniture type, huge for the two Greyhounds. It's like a two-parter. And the boxes were really big that came with that, and I used that to ship a big painting. So I'll use that sometimes, but Amazon boxes, look on there. They've got better prices. I used to go to different shipping stores. They don't have as good of prices of what I can find on Amazon. Check the reviews though, because sometimes they're really flimsy. You want as thick as you can get. Sometimes you have to double them up. But, you know, packing thick material, it's a whole thing. UPS, and this is why I don't like giving advice on this too much, because UPS's thing is, so you pay them to ship something, and all the tracking services are the same. You pay them to ship it, and they're like, okay, obviously I need to have this guaranteed for, what is it, $500, let's say $1,200, $500, whatever it is. So you're paying an extra, $50 for the guarantee on top of the shipping. I don't know what it depends on the cost of the painting, but I'm just throwing random numbers out there. But you're paying extra to guarantee that it gets delivered. But that guarantee, if it gets damaged, only really is going to cover it if they boxed it. If they didn't box it, they're going to say you boxed it wrong and that's why it was damaged. Like, they will usually fight you on that. So basically you're paying to guarantee they even deliver it. That's your extra warranty you're paying extra for, which you would think the fact that I paid you to deliver it should have been the guarantee that it at least shows up. If they lose it and you don't have a guarantee on that, you're screwed. So yeah, that's kind of a funny, like, shipping is weird. And I don't feel comfortable giving, like, this is how to do it, because I don't know that I'm doing it right. And I feel like every time I ship something, I'm putting myself at risk because I don't know for sure if that's going to make it. Whenever you box something though, you need to figure, could you hand this to a toddler and let them play with it for a week? That means walking on it. That means them setting up a table and a chair to sit on it. That means them sleeping on it. That means them tossing it across the room. No matter what size your painting is, if your painting cannot put up with a toddler playing with it for a week, you didn't pack it good enough, is kind of my general rule. So yeah, I don't have a lot of good tips for you there. Oops, I hit a button I didn't mean to hit. Shay Delane said, would you be able to do a live of an actual still life as opposed to a photo reference, or you don't have the setup for it? I don't have the setup for it. And I don't like working from still life. I like working from photo. That is just how I enjoy working. Still life, working and drawing, it's a different skill set, honestly, because you're measuring different. And it's not like I can do it, I'm way slower at it. And there's a video out there that says that if you draw from photos, you'll never be able to draw from life again. That is the biggest BS I have ever heard of. But it is a separate skill set, and because I don't do it that often, I am way slower at that than looking at a reference photo. So, and I am not really set up for it. Like, I would have to change a lot to make that happen. But yeah, it's not really something I'm interested in, because I don't like still life subjects that much myself. I like animals, so, and an animal is not going to stay still for you. Lily said, I've been asked several different times to teach art to young teen girls. Do you have any suggestions? 100% do it. You will learn more and progress more from teaching them than they're going to learn from you. It's crazy. It is crazy how fast I progressed when I started teaching teenage girls. Like, that was kind of my focus. I mean, I taught adults as well when I first started teaching, but most of my students were teenage girls for the first several years that I was teaching. And they're not as picky. The thing that I like is learn to teach with them, because they just assume you're an adult, therefore you are an authority figure to them, therefore you know what you're doing. They just are going to trust you more. Adults are much more, and it was different for me because I looked a lot younger than I was. I had, purple hair, bright red hair, I had all different colors hair at the time. This was back in, when did I start teaching? 98, 90, I think it was 99. Was it 99? It was 99, I don't know, whatever. Maybe it was 98. It might have been 98. It was a long freaking time ago. And so I was 21 at the time when I started teaching, or 22. And combine that with my hair, adults had a hard time believing that I knew what I was talking about. So the ones that would trust me, they loved it, they progressed, like, they did so good. But that was always, for me, it was a little bit different because I was so young at the time when I started teaching. Like, they didn't factor in the fact that I've been drawing my whole life. So yes, I was, young, but anyway, it's a lot easier to get teenagers to trust you and to learn from you than it is adults. But even as an adult, your adults are going to be questioning everything more. they're not as forgiving when you're learning to teach, because learning to teach is a whole, that's a skill set all in its own. Learning how to word things in a way that people are going to understand. So if you can learn to word it in a way that the teenager understands, and the teenager's not going to have any problem going, what did you just say? What do you mean? Can you explain that again? Teenagers find it to be easier usually to let you know when they don't understand something, whereas adults, they don't want to feel stupid. They're more likely to just kind of sit there and like, I don't understand, but I don't want to say anything. And then you're not learning because you didn't know they didn't understand. You just knew that what you told them to do is not what they were doing. So I just feel like when you're first teaching, there are so many benefits to teaching teenage girls first. And what I would do, most of my classes, I let the students choose the subject they wanted to paint, and I would walk around the room and just help them individually. Now, I'm not saying this is the way that you need to go, but I found that to be more successful because, one, they're painting or drawing what they were interested in, not what I told them they had to do. Like a lot of teenage girls, let's say the lesson would be a flower. A lot of teenage girls think that's boring grandma stuff, like I used to, until I'm now old enough that I think flowers are the best thing ever. So, they learn better if they're painting something that they are personally interested in. The other benefit to having everyone work on a separate subject, and you're just, walking around helping them and telling them what to do next individually. I let them bring the reference photo, or they could choose one of mine. But if one person was super slow and one person was really fast, no one was getting frustrated with that. That's always a problem if you teach a group class and like everyone's going to paint a lion today. You're going to have some students that just work fast and some that work slow. Not to mean that the slow ones are bad. It's just they work slow. So they're falling behind. The ones that are faster are frustrated, like I'm ready to move on, but I'm waiting for this person over here. So I always personally liked teaching group classes where everyone was on their own project. And I could handle about 10 to 12 comfortably. You get more than 12 students, and I could only do 10 to 12 if they were people who had been with me. If most of the people, at least half of those, had been with me for multiple classes, because if I had a whole bunch of new people going individual projects and trying to help them, that got to be a bit much. But what I would do is set everyone up in a room. I would try to get the tables, if that's a possibility, in a circle, and I just would continuously rotate student to student, and they had to wait for me to get to them because they used to, teenagers will do this. Lisa, 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 as soon as you walk away, Lisa, Lisa, nonstop. I'm not kidding you. I would go to bed at night and hear Lisa, Lisa, Lisa. I'm like, it was making me insane. So, and I live with birds. I'm used to things being repeated. That was driving me nuts. So I would instead have them, and this made everything so much more organized. They would just wait their turn. I'd work in circles, and when I got to them, that would let them know, they would be able to ask whatever they needed. The other benefit to that is younger students, and it depends on the student themselves, but younger adults, I didn't find do this as often, but the younger they are, the more they are for you to be like, okay, I want you to shade this area, go ahead and make the clouds, hype up the contrast, whatever it is, the thing you gave them to do that should keep them busy for 10, 15 minutes until you get back around to their turn again. You go 2 rows down, or you wait a few seconds and they instantly, okay, I did it, what's next? No, you didn't. You did not just do that in 30 seconds. And I'd look at it and they didn't do it. I'm like, okay, now do what I actually told you. When I forced them to wait until I made my way back around, it gave them that time, well, I may as well keep working because I've got to wait anyway. I'm going to keep working on this. And so it just worked really, really well for the class when I did it that way. So everyone on their own project, those are, the reasons I like that. Everyone's going to teach differently, and you've got to figure out what works best for you and for your students. But it also gave me more flexibility too. So if I had a bunch of students, let's say this student had been with me for 2 years, this one's brand new, they're not able to work at the same subject. This one needs to start learning how to shade and charcoal first, where this one's over here doing the super detailed stuff. So I just really liked doing that. Also, the other benefit to everybody working on their own project, if one of them is sick, if one of them went on vacation that week, they're not going to fall behind the class. So they didn't miss out on anything. It kept me having more regulars that way, so they didn't feel like, oh, I missed a class, I'm out. So those are the things that I did when I was teaching, and that worked out just really well for me. There we go. So those are my tips. I should make a whole video about that. That actually is a great, whoops, stop it, close, subject. Let's see. Jason said, how old is Dragon? 2? 2.5? He'll be 3 this year. God, I can't believe I've had him that long. Again, I didn't think he was going to live that long. He had, with the seizures he was having as a baby. But yeah, he'll be 3 probably summer, I think. You're getting old, Dragon. Let's see. Patty said, does charcoal work well on the toned gray paper from Strathmore? Do I have the tone gray paper? It should. Let's do a quick demo. How much time do we have? Oh, we're good time-wise. I think I have, do I have that? Don't fall. And you fell. Brand new oil painting falling on its face. What are you? You are not that. There's so much paper in here. Okay, this might not actually work out because I don't know. Oh wait, what are you? Are you it? Strathmore charcoal paper. Is this what you mean? So this should, was that what the question was? Does charcoal work well on the tone grade paper from Strathmore? So I actually have, this is their charcoal paper, and it feels very similar to Inktense. I would go on the smooth side. The rough side is a bit too, well, you could probably work either way. The smooth side feels a little bit more smooth than the smooth side of Canson Inktense. But, well, I already bent this one. I may as well draw on it. Hold on. I like the gray. I don't want to waste those. I kind of medium like this yellow is atrocious, so we're going to use this to find out. So let's come back over here. That lion looks much better than what you're seeing. And look, camera's frozen. That's an effing shocker. Easel. Why you got to keep doing this? What is your problem with working? Okay, this is an absolutely ugly mustard yellow. Let's see how we, I mean, that feels like it sticks nicely. Yeah, it sticks good. It's got a little bit of tooth to it on that side, you can see. Let's fold it up because I'm not going to use mustard yellow paper for anything. Let's see what the details. Yeah, it sticks nicely. Let's see how it smudges. Smudges nice. Yeah, I have no complaints. I bought it and never used it. I need to do an actual review. Heck, maybe that's the paper I should use for the, whoops, the video I was talking about. Yeah, it looks like it would be fine. This one is Strathmore's charcoal paper. So I don't think I've ever used an actual, and there's what that looks like. And this one comes, this is a 24 pack, and we've got black, dark gray, yeah, you can see that, light gray, gray blue, or cool gray, mustard ugly yellow, and cream. I'm pretty sure that mustard ugly yellow is how they listed it. If they didn't, they lost out on what it should be called. Okay. Jason said, does the Patreon participants not have a lot of content already? Wait, what? Does the Patreon participates not have a lot of content already? So if you have the mood to do something, work for them. I think I know what you're asking, but your words are not in an order that makes sense, sir. Do you mean that there's not enough content already? So if I have the mood to do, I don't know. I mean, at this point I've got 400 videos, so I used to make sure I had a video every week. Now I'm doing some that are more elaborate that I didn't feel like, so this is kind of a cool thing with, if you don't know what Patreon is, for as little as $6 a month, you get access to all of my long tutorials. So like this is a quick 1 hour one that we did, or hour and a half. There's a lion again in case you want to see him. I like how he came out. It is pretty. Anyway. For as little as $6 a month, you get access to all 400 videos, multiple mediums, acrylics, oils, charcoal, graphite, water-soluble graphite, watercolor with colored pencil. I may have done some just watercolor, but like I'm not a watercolor artist. Like I don't know all the fancy techniques they do, but I can still make stuff pretty out of it. Inktense, what else? Airbrushing, like there's just all the mediums except for soft pastels. I do oil pastels though, or not oil. Oh no, I have those too. I've been doing those now. Anyway, moving on. So, you get access to all of that. There are over 400 videos available. When I first started, so I've been uploading videos since 2014 for Patreon lessons. So yeah, I guess in 2015, 2016, if I did too many marine things, people would be like, oh, there's nothing new for me. But I guess you were right that, you know, now there's 400. If I want to do something Marine Life 2 times in a row. I shouldn't have too many people upset about that because there's so much content at this point. You know, I hadn't really thought too much about that, but one of the things I've been doing more lately is more detailed work in addition to, I used to sometimes just have to do a quick, like a project like this, just so I made sure I had a project that week. But now there are 400. So now it may not be one for 2 weeks. It'll be a long one when I release it, but I'm able to put a longer lesson together, like the horse. Here, let me show you these two. If you're new. This one is the one I just finished. This is an oil over acrylic. Okay, it looks kind of terrible in this lighting. Yeah, that looks terrible in this lighting. But that guy just got finished. This, I am determined. Dang, I hit my knee. That hurt bad. Oh, that was an injury. Also, proof, Frederick's canvases are super tough because I can beat myself up with it, throw it on the floor. Oh my gosh, my knee. Okay, there, the pain's finally letting up. Anyway, here is the other one that was super, wait, there we go. This one took forever because look at all the detail. Those flowers were like so much. And so I'm getting to the point now where there's so many lessons, I'm starting to do more detailed stuff. Like really long lessons and not so many of the small short ones to make sure there was new one every week. So there's something for everyone on there. But yeah, no, you're right. If that's what your words that were not in the right order to make sense meant, there's enough of everything that I could do longer ones or do other, you know, 2 Marine Life ones in a row. Let's see. Jason and I, by the way, never know what each other is saying. We do not understand each other more often than not. That was a good example. Mama Bear Artist said, can you crush up charcoal pencils to make powder? Maybe, probably. Would a soft tool work for the powder? The reason I wouldn't is it seems kind of a waste. I mean, I probably paid, I don't know, between 7 and 10, maybe 15. Under 20 for sure, and it's going to last me the rest of my life. So it seems like you could, I guess, if you just needed a small amount, but I would just, use the soft or extra soft charcoal blocks, not pencils for that. With pencils, you are wasting your money because you're paying for that wood. So I wouldn't do it for that, but yeah. Let's see. B said, I know you're a fan of WoW. Are you enjoying the new season? So I have been farming. People who are unfamiliar, it's a World of Warcraft video game. It's the one, that one and Harry Potter. I haven't played it in like a year, but Warcraft is the game that I like. And I used to take it more seriously and do the raiding. I was the main healer, all that stuff. I don't have time for that crap anymore. So I just do solo stuff and I farm pets and mounts. Like I have 600 and something mounts, like a lot. Way more pets. But I've been over, and if you play Warcraft, you know where I'm talking about, in where is it? Zen Morris? One of the last expansions from, what was that one called? Oh, it was one of my least favorites of all the expansions. But anyway, I've been over there farming the mounts over there. There were like 20 mounts. I didn't even know, like I had never farmed. You have to farm all these parts and it's so tedious and so long, and I'm just flying around collecting things. I'm almost done. I only need, I think there's one more mount and that I've just got to finish getting the rat for, and then like 2 or 3 pets and I'm done with that. No, not Dragon. It was before Dragonflight. What was the one right before that? I can't think of it right off the top of Orbia or Orobius, Oriobos. Shadowlands, thank you, that is it. Yes, that is what I've been doing for, yeah, I haven't even played the new stuff. Like I just last night, because I'm like, okay, I need to at least, because I haven't been playing that much, I need to go get the trading post stuff. I'm going to stop talking about video games in a second here, but I have to go finish because I want that last red butterfly mount. So I need to finish my trading post quest stuff. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'll go do the new or like not expansion, but the new stuff, the goblin thing. I haven't even been there yet. So I just went to the land last night, but yeah, that is what I'm on. So, I mean, it's been okay. I don't play with other people, so I don't know if like the dungeons are good. I like some of the aspects. They made it so you can do solo dungeons now, so I at least get to see stuff. I don't have to wait until like till future expansions where I can go solo it. So that's been fun. I like the delves. There have been some aspects about this that I love, and I think they did a great job on. The delves are a lot of fun because it's a solo instance. You mean I don't have to play with losers who are like yelling because their mom is telling them to go do their homework or, you know, I don't know, flush the toilet, whatever the losers are not doing that they're supposed to be doing. So I'm like super enjoying being able to go do instances solo. It's on my warlock anyway. It's a lot of fun. Okay. I don't like it so much on my priest, my holy priest. Let's see. I've got the list of art requests, so I will definitely save that. Thank you. Ooh, 3 for the turtle. Spring makes me think of birds. Yeah. Stacy Anderson said, have you heard of the color cube by Sarah Renee Clark? What are your thoughts? It looks cool. I mean, okay, so here's the thing. It is an amazing idea. I basically do the same thing with Pinterest for free. But also you could get that color cube, which is, like I said, amazing idea. If you've got the money for it, you can just pull out. So what it is kind of, I feel like I should buy it so I could just do like a review because it's cool. It is really cool. So it is a cube and you pull out like color swatches, it's color palettes. So if you just look up color palette, like pink or purple color palette on Pinterest, you get the same, it's the same thing basically. But it gives you an idea of colors that would go nicely together. So if you're sitting there going, I want to paint this thing and I want to paint this raccoon and I want these kind of flowers and what background should it go? What colors are going to look nice together? You can take that cube, if I understand it, I don't have one, so I could be wrong, but from what I've seen, what it looks like, you can take that cube, like if you want to see kind of what it looks like, go look up color swatches on Pinterest. And you've got a row of colors, like actually here, I'll pull it up on my phone because I do that stuff like I really do this a lot. So that's why I think that it's a great idea. And especially if you've got the money for it, while yes, you can look up those things online for free, if you've got the money for it, you've got a nice little box. It's just fun to pull out the cards. So I can certainly see where, like here's one, navy color palette. So I can see colors that would look nice together. So like you get different color palettes that way, but here's an example. So I can see like what some of these colors would be together. Here's an example of a set of colors. So I could be wrong, don't get too mad, but I believe her box is kind of like that. You've got a photo and you've got color swatches and there may be more to it. Let me know if there's more, but it's kind of the same, you know, you can look up, this is what I've always done. So I didn't personally buy her box, but I love her. She is awesome. She's an awesome artist and it looks like that is a really cool product. So like I said, if you've got the money for it, I would recommend it just from what I've seen with it. But let's see, like, here's another one that's kind of cool. I look at a lot of home decorating stuff, but you can see, I mean, these colors aren't accurate, but this was just navy color palette to see what colors would look nice with navy. Or I could be like, ooh, that's a pretty one. This one doesn't have color swatches, but how pretty is that room with the navy and the green? That is so pretty. I love home decor stuff, like love. Here's a neat one. So stop it. No, I'm not doing AI right now. Can we not? Can we just look at, no. Why you gotta be like that? Why are you moving? Why are you doing that? Whatever, we'll show you this way then. But I mean, you can get some brighter colors, and this I know is not clear and focused, but that's kind of what it is. And so you get a lot of ideas on colors if you're just kind of drawing a blank and you're like, what colors would look nice together? I've done it a few times where I wanted to make sure that my colors would all work because I was doing something surreal and I was combining, 4 different photos, 5 different photos. What colors do I want to stick with so that I'm sure that all these different reference photos meld together and feel like they're a part of the same scene. So sometimes I make my own color charts, like I just come up with colors that I want to use. But sometimes I'll look at those to get ideas because I'm like, oh, I wouldn't have thought to put lime green as an accent with the pink and the navy. Like it didn't even cross my mind how good that could look. And that can really give you a lot of ideas of how to, so whether you're using Pinterest or you're using Sarah Renee Clark's, and if you just look her up, her color cube, there's ads all the time on Facebook, so you'll see it. I don't know, was it like $50? So it's not cheap, but it's also wouldn't have been cheap to make. So I think it's I certainly think it's worth it. Or you could do it for free on Pinterest if you don't want to buy it, but it would be handy to kind of have that sitting next to you. I see where like having it in your hand, it kind of depends. Are you the type of person that wants Kindle books or real books? I'm a Kindle book person. I want digital because I don't want, like, I have so much, well, especially this room's pretty, you've got a lot of stuff, but I like to keep things clean and nice and tidy, and the digital does that for me until we don't have things. So anyway, let's see. Stacey said, yes, that sounds like what it's like. Thanks for the tip on using Pinterest. Yeah, and see, you may get to the point where you're like, I love it on Pinterest. I'd like to have one in hand. And maybe that will make you think you want the box. Or you don't find Pinterest like finding those color swatches to help you, then there would be no reason to buy it. You know, that can give you, you can get a little bit of a taste to see if it's something you would enjoy. So pretty cool. Let's see. Joseph said, I love video games too, but not if other people are involved. LOL, co-op is about as far as I go. Yeah, you know, and I used to, Warcraft used to be set up in a way where like you were all in the same server, you had your guilds. If somebody was a tool, you knew not to play with them. Like you would know that character and their other character, and you would be able to easily avoid them. There's cross servers and stuff now, so when you play, like let's say you do I think, Raid Finder and, not that I don't enjoy those things, but looking for group features, I think kind of ruined the social aspect since that happened. And when did those kick in? The end of like BC. So it's been a lot. I played since vanilla, so I'm old. But it kind of killed like that social aspect where you kind of build a reputation. If you were a jerk in a raid, people knew don't take that guy, or you know, whatever. That's not how it is anymore. And so you get in with a group, and for no reason they kick you. And it's like, okay, as a healer, I don't have to worry about that. But let's say I'm in on DPS. Okay, if I'm up there on the top 1 or 2 on DPS, like I'm not causing any issues, my DPS is fine, like I'm not standing in the fire, like why would I be kicked? One time I had a group kick. I think they were bringing in a friend, but it made me mad because it gave me the abandonment, the debuff, so I couldn't join another group and finish what I was trying to do. So it was like, I don't want to play with these kids, and you know they're mostly kids. So I just kind of was like, yeah, I'm done playing with other people. So the new stuff, the way that WoW has done stuff that you can do, they call it your followers. So you're in a group of 4 other people, so 5 total, but they're NPCs. So you want to stop and take a break because the dogs wanted to go outside, no problem, you can do that. Whereas like if I played with a group, obviously you can't stop and take a break. So I do really like that for me not liking people. So Jason said, does YouTube been glitching? Your English is glitching, sir. For you a lot recently tonight. It seems to be doing it a lot. I don't know if I hit a weird button, a weird setting, but all of a sudden YouTube is forcing when I click a video on, like, let's see. Like oh, I'm not going to pull one up, but it'll be like the video here and then fade on top and bottom where it used to have the, it used to show the title and comments. It's like, it's really making sure people can't see the thing. So I don't know if that was a setting I had that was weird or off, or if it's YouTube's updating or changing something, because that started happening this afternoon all over. And I get new phones, so it's possible I screwed something up. But it started doing it this afternoon, so it makes me wonder if they're trying to update something. Jason said, yes, I have a glitch in verbiage. I can't really talk bad about you because you've heard me screw up everything I try to say tonight. Heck, I beat myself up with a canvas earlier. My poor knee. It feels fine now. Thanks for asking. 9:59. So thank you guys so much for joining. Next week we are doing a ferret in colored pencil and pan pastels by request. Let me know, leave a comment after the video's over, letting me know ideas, and I've got your ideas for the Patreon ones. But I've got, let's see, if you are a Patreon member, in a couple of weeks, we're going to be doing another art critique. So that is coming up soon. My painting, your painting needs to be discounted for sale. What? Discounted for sale? What are you, the one I beat up with my knee? Yeah, no. Anyway, thank you guys so much. Make sure to check out our moderators' channels. Nick does not upload often, but he's got a few up there, and when he does upload, they are good. You're going to learn something. You definitely want to follow him in case he decides to make a video sometime. Joseph live streams almost every week. Great content. A lot of the same people that you're chatting with in our chat tonight, Chad and Joseph, so you definitely want to check that out. Thank you guys so much for joining, and it's 10 o'clock. I have to go feed baby spiders. I'm not even done. I have like, I don't know, 40 baby spiders that need to be fed and their cages cleaned. So I've got to go do that now. And then I get to hang out with French Fry. I will see you guys next week. Bye.